Welcome back to my channel, Char of Heart. I am Char. We're going to try a little bit of mixed coloring with some story reading. What I did was recorded my voice so that it can play while I am doing some coloring. So it'll be like part one of the coloring. I'll have to go back to see which episode of the reading it is, but let's get started so we can keep this short, since I seem to be having problems with Filmora letting me use a free version. I think that all of the editing softwares are starting to get rid of their free versions, so I'm gonna keep this short. Hit play. Penelope wasn't fond of the hours with the babysitter. But it wasn't because she was a bad babysitter, it was because it wasn't home. She'd slowly been understanding Mama and Papa had to work. It was part of life and needed if they were to have their happy moments with treats and outings and a place they could live. This was what Penelope understood about parents and thought it was like this for every toddler and their parents. Today was the first day of Mama's days off. She was excited. This had been a routine. End of each week, Mama worked a partial day and came home early, picking up Penelope for some time together and lessons after her snack. They would greet Papa as he got up for night shift later in the day. They would go over some lessons after some time sitting together as they ate. Sometimes it would just be finger food, and Penelope would be allowed to sit in Mama's lap as they watched a short show and both ate snacks together. Penelope would sometimes offer a taste of her snack to taste something Mama had that she didn't recognize. The schedule they had now required Mama to change jobs. As Penelope had grown older, she had prepared to be home and awake in the day to make sure Penelope did not feel left out while the grown-ups were busy her entire time awake. When Penelope's time at the daycare hadn't been a good experience, her Mama had switched from night shift factory work to a part-time job at a cafe. The teenagers worked more hours on the weekends, which allowed her to go home just after noon, when most of the teens would be functional. Now, Penelope was coming up and turning 6 years of age. Not sure how I went down, and would be going into kindergarten half days like her schedule at the babysitter's. Penelope's Mama had made sure she would know how to write her name, shapes, colors, and ABCs. Today, the two would be reviewing while Papa studied for work. Mama had a worksheet and explained what Penelope needed to do. She pointed to the section for the name and told her to always put her name in her work or projects. Then she told Penelope she would say a shape or color, and Penelope would need to circle the correct answer. Pink, circle. What do you see is pink? Okay, good. Now circle everything that is a square. Excellent. Great job, Penelope. Now, tell me the alphabet, ABCs. After Penelope had completed the review, Mama read her a story. As they finished, Papa came out to the living room dressed for work. All right, girls, what's for dinner? Which will be my breakfast? Oh, all right, girls, what's for dinner? Which will also be my breakfast. Mama got the heated meals out, prepared to allow more time to eat instead of setting the table. Papa asked how their day went and how Penelope was doing with her lessons. Then he announced, "Tomorrow everyone is off from work or school lessons, so let's go to the fair." Both Penelope and Mama's eyes lit up with a loud yes. We'll get some fun times in together before school hours in the coming fall. Papa pushed Papa finished the dinner together, everyone with a round of grins and excited talk about what they might do first at the fair. Having left oh sorry. Okay, that was the end of that. Yeah, I started writing something else. Okay, now let's get some more coloring done. That was the end of that one for Penelope. We did Persia, I think last week or the week before. And we'll be doing Persia either the week next week or the week after. And I'll try to do Persia and Penelope separate days, but in the same week, because we do have almost 3 whole weeks, and I need more time to draw the scenery for like going to the fair and visiting with the parents at their dig site or whatever. And I don't want to rush it because I want it to look, I want it to look really good. And when you rush stuff, you regret that. I want to get, like, in my mind, capture that emotional moment during the scene, like the mama and Penelope being at the fair with the smile and all that, and then capture the emotional moment that Persia is expressing how she feels with being at the workplace with Dad and Mom. Because I did read that she was at the art gallery. Some of its historical pictures and stuff of inventions. So we're gonna have a historical encounter for Persia and the coming storyline. Okay. So I forgot to clear out some space. So I stopped it for a little bit. That's fine. The reading was done, but I wanted to add a little bit more to the coloring so that, it's not all bland. And you can see the beginning of the color for the coloring the coloring portion of this art. Now that we've done the story part. The birds that we do have singing are not singing close by, so you can't really hear the birds, unfortunately. Let's see, Mama had a similar dress. I'm gonna do it the other way around. The Mama's dress will have pink trim, so her bow will be pink. Make the colors a little darker because she's older. Not all of them, just like the pink will be a little bit darker. I'll use the darker purple in that for the dress. And use a darker pink and purple for the outlining. See, I think I finished her dress. I could put up the lighter purple. Lighter purple away. A little bit darker. This may not be a little bit darker, but we'll see. Sorta. This is good enough. It'll be just enough to actually appear to be a shadow for the pink that I'm using. I'm gonna keep this little portion of the coloring short because it's mostly about the story. I don't want the story part to be the longer part. So I'll be closing down. I could turn in the color for a different video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for further reading. Not next week. For sure not next week because I want to have more time to get the next drawing started. And it's going to take me a little bit. And then I'm going to set up all the colors that I need for this drawing. So that you guys can see the full coloring. This coloring takes a little bit longer than just story reading. Hope you guys have a great weekend coming, and see you next time. Bye bye.